all that. Five's responded, and so too Matthew Pavlich. But you can see there, they're not scoring on turnover. They're not converting on turnover. They need to make sure these inside 50 entries go through the goals.
Second quarter about to get underway. Here's Dwayne Russell.
Margin was 25. Right now it's 15. Umpire doesn't mind that bounce. Swallow with the clearance. Ben Brown came hard, but Pearce put his body and his head on the line there. Hill drives it wide. Walters gets the Jets on, got there. And wastes no time. Pavlich sits on his head. Ballantyne tries to protect the drop zone. Does. Pavlich sidesteps, superb. Made it tough for Neil. He's good enough, though. He is good enough.
He's one of those blokes, Brownie, who can snap across the body and get it travelling over the line from 40, 45 out. He snaps big. Now, most blokes need to be within 20, 25 metres to get the loft and the air on it and clear the line. But he snaps. And look at that. That ball's carried 45 metres.
Yeah, it was good effort. Well done by Pav. All started too, but Alex Pearce is marking centre half back in his
good kid, isn't he?
In the back line. Great mark, good courage.
Lachie Neale was excellent against the Eagles last week with 25 disposals, and that was his first goal for the year. So they're closing in the Dockers. It's a 9-point ball game. Goldstein stands his ground, hammers it down to Zeeble, goes onto the left foot, up towards the 50-metre line. Bouncing away from Johnson. He needs support, and he's got it in the form of Pearce. Back towards centre wing, close to going out on the full, but just bouncing inside.
Schmitty said that one's legal. Don't know if that centre bounce setup was all that well thought out by Fremantle. They just left Zeeble behind his ruckman there, just at Goldstein, just to take the easy palm down.
He does like to play the sweeper like Jack Zeeble.
Yeah, but he was totally by himself. That's rolling the dice.
Up towards Pavlich, got one hand to it, but was running with the flight of the ball. Made it very difficult. Taberner, good tackle. Good aggressive tackle by Taberner. Now plays on quickly, gives it to Walters from a standing start. He pulls it away to the right and won't trouble the scorer.
Jonathan, you and I had a conversation before the game about blokes who dish off too quickly, and it's almost in the bracket of they're not confident enough to take the shot. He didn't want to take the shot there, Taberner, and he gave it to a bloke who was real hot.
That's a young man still working out, you know, where he sits in the AFL at the moment, just trying to get his confidence up. Hasn't played many games, but you want to see young Taberner go back and take it upon himself to kick the goal, or at least take his time and look at what's going on.
You can't get confidence by handballing goals.
You can't.
You've got to kick them sometimes.
Back into the lineup this week, Matt Taberner. Had a few chances of establishing himself in that spot. Johnson gets there in front of Brown. And they fan. Sutcliffe. Sheridan moved for him. Turnover, Wood. North of players on the rebound. Lindsay Thomas, one of them. Higgins, another. Wait is long. Wait is waiting. Wait in the goal square. And they're not going to pay full price.
Same story, Derb. Turnovers.
Back.
Fremantle turnovers coming through the middle. Playing on too quickly. And understand you're trying to move the ball fast, but you need to do it with composure. And this is really where North Melbourne hurt the opposition. They have all season this year. Did to a degree last year when they made the preliminary final. Now they've got quality users through the middle. Ford's eyes will be lighting up there, Derb. Getting that amount of space. Saw Ben Brown with that amount of space in the first quarter, getting an easy goal.
Jared Waite having an excellent season. That's his 13th goal. Had a big day out last weekend, kicking 4 against Melbourne. So back in the middle. Goldstein trying to lean over Griffin. Not successful, but Griffin comes away with it and he tumbles a punt inside 50. McMillan was dunked by Taberner, who flicks it onto the left boot. Just wobbles up towards Main and co. He couldn't take it cleanly. Ferrito gets the hand pass away to Zeeble. They're out of trouble once again. Advantage is paid. McMillan says, I'm off. And away he goes. He bounces once. Spears a pass to Brown. Picked it up beautifully. Goes back inboard once again. They're looking dangerous, but that's a poor kick. It's going to be chopped off by Hill. And the good work undone as he gives it to Spur.
Notice that he wasn't brave enough to just go straight up the middle then. He had Main on a short hit up through the centre square. Fan it wide. It gives North Melbourne a chance to actually reset in the next 7 or 8 seconds. And they pick it off eventually.
Sam Wright is the player in question. Wood marks on centre wing. Back to a 15-point margin. White again. Spearing it to Brown.
Not the one extra, the Dockers.
Still too far out the score, so he goes to Petrie in the pocket.
Look at that on screen. You've got 3 Dockers, 2 North Melbourne players, and that was the actual numbers in that area. And they still were able to find the target.
Really well done. Good setup there by the North forwards, working together. Love their cohesion, their chemistry is very good. They probably have the most experienced forward line in the competition, North Melbourne.
But that's really disappointing. If you're a coach of this team and you're giving the back 6 an extra one, you're taking something away from somewhere else. You expect that extra to have an impact.
Check side.
Because you're giving up so much elsewhere on the field. If the extra can't get to that ball that's come in from 40 metres away, well, why bother?
Drew doesn't bother the scorer. Taberner will be a flyer. Good job. He's got a hand to it. White tries to go over the top. Smashed back by Fife. Plenty of blue and whites there, but I think Swallow, they've given away a free kick. He has. Walters will be the recipient.
Boys, the biggest indicator in the game has been for some years is being ranked 1 or 2 in the points difference on turnover. So you versus your opponent, the gap on turnover. Fremantle today are minus 12 points. Across the course of the season, that's been their big problem. Minus 4 goals on their opponents, 24 points. Ranks them 3rd last in the competition. That's where they need to correct. They need to be able to force more turnovers.
Pearce, Walters, Johnson, Hill. Hill's got to go again. He's got to beat a couple. It's going to be a big ask. Goldie's got it at the back. Farms it out. They go down towards the half-forward line and Lindsay Thomas. He looked round, but there was no one there. So he's got to go laterally, and he does to Zeeble.
What a costly drop by Stephen Hill. He attracted 4 opponents, which means that he had to have 3 teammates running by themselves on the outside of that mini area.
Ferrito long. Petrie's the target. Spurs there with him. Gets a hand to it. Pearce at the back. Towards the boundary line they go. Kept in play by Gibson. Bends it round into the square. Dawson with a big fist. Sees it over the line, conceding one behind.
I spoke about that before to Stephen Hill. Critical job in the middle of the ground. Fremantle players, even the experienced ones, bereft of confidence a little bit. They've been shell-shocked by the start of the year.
Johnson takes off. Griffin's his target. Fife stays down. Griffin, he was blocked.
Well, you can back into the bloke, but you've actually got to attempt to go for the footy.
Sheridan spears that to Main. Ferrito didn't know it was coming in his direction. Hands off to Weller. Positive build up this. Who does he want to go to? Drives it to the square. And Taberner, 1, 2, 3.
Played the mark.
Oh, he's called play on. Surely he didn't know it was a mark and was waiting, but the Pav cleans it up anyway.
There's madness there. Brad Scott shaking his head. At the end of the day, it was
No,
a goal.
Taberner ran to him, Brownie.
Yeah.
Taberner just quizzed the umpire and said, call it earlier. He's a little bit of panic, thinking it hasn't been paid. I've got to get rid of it. You have a watch.
Good speed.
Yeah, good wheels there.
Well, he went past the Pavlich lead, which was on. This wasn't a bad option in the end. He went there and he did play on straight away. No whistle. Anyway, it all resulted in the goal.
Once again, back to a 10-point ball game.
I tell you what, was a dead ringer for Ryan Griffin running down the wing there, the way he kicked the ball.
And the flowing locks.
Yeah.
Yep. Here's Griffin. It's a favourable bounce. Pavlich in the middle. Goes up towards the 50. Smashed clear towards McMillan, who needs assistance from Thompson, and he gets it wider to right. Sam Wright kicks over centre wing up towards Brown. He's almost pushed into the ball, but he's got assistance. Here's Cunnington. Lovely little pass. Wood in towards White at the back. Gibson again hits the post. Great opportunity for Sam Gibson. Oh, that's dangerous. But it's dropped by Jacobs. He crawls out the back door.
Now, Michael Barlow's going to argue this made contact with me below the knees. I reckon he was pressing the issue there, thinking, I'll be able to draw a free kick here.
He plays on. That's a poor disposal. Taken by Crozier. Crozier goes to the outer side. And they're out of trouble once again to the run of Hill.
And he drives it. Main inside 50. McMillan trying to shut it down. Main keeps it alive. Fife. Main goes himself. Hits the post at the other end.
Deserved the goal, Dwayne. Really good effort there by Chris Main. He ran probably 100 metres.
Yeah.
Good tap to himself. He had Fife in support. Maybe should have gone out to Fife with a handball just so he could settle.
Oh, Gibson's kick has come unstuck and Barlow's taken the mark. He could have gone to the run of Pavlich, who is heading towards the goals. Now he does go short. As you could hear Dermot say, he had to.
I think Fremantle's got the upper hand at the moment. They're just not using the ball well enough coming into the forward line. They can fix that part of their game up. I think they've been on top this quarter.
10-point ball game. Sutcliffe looking for his first goal of the season. Directly in front, but from 55. Well, he's got onto that. Plenty of length, but direction just away to the right.
All scoring shots, Fremantle.
Closest they've been since the 7-minute mark of the opening term. The pocket. Carita.
Once again, even for the North Melbourne kicking, not a soul in the centre square.
That's wide. That's too wide. That's row 1 wide. Walters. Have the momentum, don't have the lead, Fremantle. Walters hits the spot. Main's down there. 5. The float in. He should trademark that.
That's good. That is real good.
I don't think he's going to handball it off. He's just walking straight back to the top of his mark. He understands the importance of this.
As good as Pav's been in his career, when Pav started down there against Big Spud, Spud's now thinking there's just something different.
And in the blink of an eye, there's a kick in it.
Yeah, he's dangerous. Probably he'd be the guy he'd be the most nervous about playing on as a defender, Derm. I think in the whole competition, he's not 6'4", but he can jump as high as a 6'4" man. You just see here his ability to read the drop of the ball. He's got that explosion that first 3 or 4 steps. And nice jump, hang time. Yeah, look at those legs, big thick legs on him. Good finish.
2 goals to Nat Fife, 101 for his short career, but he's been busy. 12 disposals,
and they're in good spots.
Yeah,
where he's getting. One of the great traits of the great players is they read the ball in flight a half-second quicker than the opponents around them.
Taberner forced to do the ruck work on that occasion. Goldie a little frustrated. Shake of the head, he can't believe it. So they go again. Dockers closing in. Cunnington locking it up.
Give the ball back to Schmitty.
Still virtually in the middle. Wells couldn't take it. Swallow, pressure. Goes again. Good pressure by Neil, but it's Wells who gets it out. But no one at home. And once again, the Dockers who've lifted in defence. Pearce got it away towards Sheridan. And they transfer it back to Spur, who can come right across the ground. This is to Daniel Pearce. Short to Taberner.
And looking at this now, you'll see that there was so much space inside the back of the centre square. Braver teams are going to try and get the ball into that area. Fremantle just don't take that risk, and that's a confidence thing as well where they're at with this season.
Barlow used the body nicely. Now Weller gives it across to Ballantyne, and he goes high and long. Fife used the body. It was smashed away by Ferrito. Going to be kept in play by Walters. Just. No, it wasn't. Momentum took him over the line, and we've got a throw in.
Got to it quick, didn't he?
So after the early onslaught by North Melbourne, this game now tight as a drum. Petrie doing the ruck work with Taberner. Barlow lurking. He has it now. Good smother by Zeeble.
This is where you've got to be careful with your tackles, because someone will, Kingy, one of yours and my favourites, or disliked favourites, dropping at the knees, and the high tackle will yield a shot at goal.
It's a certainty.
Petrie took it out of the air, had a rake free. Barlow, Weller, he's got the jets, bends it around, it's coming, touched. Anyway was the call.
It's been lively today, hasn't it? Weller showed a bit last week in the Derby.
7 possessions so far.
Yeah, he's been good. Some real spark through the middle of the ground.
McMillan back towards White. Under pressure from Spur. Called a play on, not 15, so it comes back towards centre wing. Pavlich, the hand pass, going to be okay to Langdon. They move it around. Finally finishes once again with Spur. Across the ground it goes. Daniel Pearce. He's going to lose it here to Higgins. Now here they go. Wood breaks free. He goes wide low towards Wells. Wells does a 360, then just pops it over the top. D'Alessandro claimed by Dawson. On all fours, he smashes it clear. Harvey's lurking, but can he get it to him? Higgins it was, who tried. He's taken high, and he's going to get away with it.
They've still got the ball here, but that decision by Zach Dawson to come off his man and impact the ball where it was invaluable. It stopped the ball. They've still got it, North Melbourne now, but they've got a chance to defend.
D'Alessandro. Short to Wells. Zach Dawson just going out of picture. You could hear being told to clear out. Zeeble.
Been able to contain him a little bit better this quarter. Fremantle been able to contain Jack Zeeble. But if he kicks this, he's got the upper hand back against the Freo midfielders. He's capable of this. He's certainly got the distance.
He's going to be going for probably 52, 53 metres, Brownie. Nice, easy approach. Got to be close. Got to be very, very close. It's there!
You can see the Kangaroos have lifted there. They needed a goal because Fremantle's pressure in this second quarter has been the difference. They've affected the Kangaroos' disposal to the point now they're only going at 56% in that second quarter. There's the gap. If they can maintain that for the rest of the game, Fremantle, they will win this game, make no mistake. If you're plus 10 there, you win 80% of the game. So plus 31 is a huge margin. You can see Brad Scott there just playing with the magnets.
Costly missed handball in the centre of the ground by the Dockers. They didn't touch the ball again after that moment.
Brown to the ruck against Griffin. Neal, Fife. Spare man, North Melbourne's man, Tarrant. He's up, but he let it go. Ballantyne half held. McDonald hassled him out of it. Still alive, though. Weller has been setting it up. Walters. The sidestep. Ballantyne. And now Hill gets his chance. He's missed a couple, but he should have next to his name. This is vital to move the momentum back Fremantle's way again.
Yeah, his kicking's been a bit off today. Dwayne.
Weller's the man, isn't he, Brownie?
Weller's been fantastic here, and I think Ballantyne's been pretty good as well. He hasn't had a huge amount of the football. He's had 6 possessions, but his work rate, I think he's one of the better pressure players in the game today so far.
Struck it okay. Sneaks it home. And there's a kick in it again.
Yeah, it's important. Quick response after Jack Zeeble's good long-distance goal before. Stephen Hill will be happy with that. Saw him drop to his chest mark earlier on in the quarter. He still even just chipped away at that. But have a look at this. Well done by Ballantyne. Threaded the needle through there. Hill went back. Wasn't the most convincing kick. Stabbed at it a little bit, but able to just sneak it inside that left post.
Stephen Hill gets his first goal for the season.
They need a bit more of that combination. Walters to Ballantyne to Hill. They need those three in the forward half to really do some damage.
Three dynamos on their day. Griffin goes wide. Wells with dash. Swallow. Atley up towards Jacobs. Needs a kind bounce. And he gets anything but. Three Dockers descend on him. And it's Pearce who picks it up and kicks it long back towards half forward. Pavlich and Ferrito and the boundary line.
That's where you get North Melbourne need more of that, some dash off half back. But Daniel Wells starting off the back of the centre square. That time rushed in, was able to get the clearance. Need to get some more running life, get Boomer Harvey involved in the play a little bit more here.
Kangaroos have got 16 players in this side that have at least 100 games each to their name. And of course, Harvey's got about 500. So Tarrant lost it. Crozier also lost it. Subin says, get out of my way. And he bounces off one to another. Lachie Neale now. They're shooting it around and eventually they'll get clear and be able to move in towards the inside 50. Walters is a target. Oh! Touched over the line because getting his boot to it was Ed Langdon. But they managed just to get a boot and force through the behind.
Yeah, it was, if ever there was a chance to take a hack at it out of the air.
Thompson to himself, and the Roos are away again.
Young Ed not just sensing the pressure at that moment in his 5th game.
Pressure here as well. Right, kick smothered, he gets back again. Adley, did you get 2 stats for that? Cunnington wide, Ferrito. Tucked up against the boundary line, lace out to Brown, out of trouble.
Great lead, great kick.
1 point game. Right. Harvey. Closest scores have been since the first minute elapsed. Boomer. The Wells picking their way through.
Senior players all involved here.
And JZ, same spot as he bombed the last one from.
Well done. Senior players realising they're under pressure, just taking the tempo out of the game, slowing the game down, working with slow precision kicking, not playing on. That would be the direction from Brad Scott. Just compose yourself, bring it down the field slowly, and finally hit a free target inside 50. They waited for Jack Siebel to get the break. Good hit.
Well, he knows what it takes. He's had a sighter. Nailed his first bomb. Gets plenty on that. Can you believe it? Every time Fremantle land a punch, North Melbourne a blow back to the jaw.
That's why they talk about this man as the next captain of North Melbourne. His last 2 shots on goal, he has sensed the occasion. His side is under pressure this quarter. Fremantle have really lifted their pressure rating. Just see here, back pedals. Jack Siebel waits. He's patient. Lindsay Thomas gets involved as well there. Finally, the hole opens up. Then he goes back and converts. That is fantastic leadership. Seize the moment.
7-point ball game. Siebel with 2 beauties.
Michael Johnson never got a chance to put touch and feel on him. And that was Siebel's willingness just to run little figure 8s around him.
Griffin wins it to Fife. Can they reply again? Inside 50. Taberner got a hand to it. McMillan's hand pass goes astray. Back to Taberner once again. This looks dangerous. The snap in towards goal is away to the right, to the left, and through for one behind. Lachie Neale.
Pretty prolific. 15th possession now for Lachie Neale in this first half, carrying on from a really good performance last week in the Derby against the Eagles.
Yeah, he was great last week, wasn't he, Brownie?
Yeah, he was, Sandy.
Almost a mark to Goldstein, then he tried to steal it, but it was Lachie Neale, in fact, who gave it to Griffin. Back to Neale again. Players screaming for it, but he goes for the centering ball and gives it to Dal Sando. Nicky Dowell onto the left boot. He's going to give it away too. Here's a chance for Main. Gives the hand pass away. Ballantyne snapped. Ballantyne goals.
Forward heat, forward pressure, whatever you want to call it. And North Melbourne are trying to get the ball into a position where they can get a balanced disposal. Someone who can take 2 or 3 steps and look at what they're doing But Fremantle just keep it alive. Now watch here. See, Dos Santos thinking, now this could really hurt them if we get clear possession in the middle of the ground. It doesn't come off. Good pressure.
From 25 points down to scores level. This is last year's minor premier. You're watching Fremantle. Haven't won a game so far this year. This is their best performance so far, no doubt, against the undefeated North Melbourne, who could be the only undefeated team at the top of the ladder tonight if they win. And a big 4 minutes 20 coming up here to half-time. Zeeble scrambles it clear. Bouncing ball, Wood attacked it. Thomas got it, gave to Petrie. It's touched, so it won't count as a goal. It won't go near the goal's ugly bounce. Little 1-2 might work. So Langdon can take off here. He's got some space. Being hunted down from behind. Made it tough for Hill. Made it impossible. He threw that out to Neal. Langdon again. Fife. Weller. He's been the one that set it all up. He might set it up to Mayne. One-on-one. Mayne got a fist on it. Gave away the free kick. 3 minutes 42 left to half-time and scores still level.
Both teams are playing an extra one in defence. North Melbourne are tending to go with McMillan on most occasions to be the extra. He's a bounce out, a rebound running defender. At the other end, you've got Ibbotson, who's a third man up specialist. So slightly different attacks at the footy with the extra man in defence.
And here is McMillan. You have to combine with Atley and Swallow. Goldstein charging that pack. Boomer's been pretty quiet by Boomer standards, but he's away here with a penetrating hand pass off to Cunnington from 52 metres. Vacant square, and Cunnington gets the goal.
It's been their midfielders, Jack Zeeble and now Ben Cunnington, have really kept North Melbourne in the game.
He made the goal.
Boomer was sensational. He needed to get up and get back involved in the action, Boomer.
Well, you watch where he just goes front and centre, looks over his shoulder and thinks, I've got young Pearce, I'll just run that little slant on him. And he drags the ball with him by foot 20 metres before he releases, and that's enough to put his team into space and goalward.
Certainly just, that's keeping him in the game. They're hanging in. I think apart from the first 10 minutes of the game, boys, Fremantle's been in control. North Melbourne able to score goals at the right time, Dwayne.
Score-wise, you're correct, Brownie, because they think the first 4 goals of the game, for those people unaware, North Melbourne jumped out to a 25-point lead. It's Cunnington's day so far. And the quality of the football in 2016 continues to amaze.
How good is it?
Wells gets back, hunted down, tried to shake and bake on Walters, has to go back inside to Cunnington. Del Santo, 2 minutes 38 to half-time. North by a goal again. Crowd on the edge of their seats here at Etithad. Roof shut, perfect conditions, right. Everybody takes a breath. White leads up. Early fly, good spoil by Pearce. And might get a possession for his trouble. He lost it. Wells shoots it to Harvey. Boomer, the ageless. Couldn't quite do it that time on the full.
Couldn't quite do it, but he almost did.
A crucial 2 minutes.
Got to take it again. Young Alex Pearce has to run to centre half back. There's a huge void there. It's seized up now. It's checked.
Ibbotson comes back from whence it came towards Sheridan. Still time. Hill on the receiving end at half back. Tries to draw the player. That's going to be okay. Gives it back once again to Langdon. That's who gave it to him initially. Turnover. Goldstein. Harvey. The old firm in it once again to Brown.
He has been the best kick inside 50 this competition's had for 10 years, Brent Harvey. He hits more targets with those short 30-metre kicks than anyone. Robert Harvey was the previous best. Now Brent Harvey's taken over.
The thing is, though, Kingy, and it's a great lesson to young footballers, he doesn't go on an ego trip when he kicks to his forwards. He doesn't try and drill it through the back of the forward's chest. He caresses it into their path and lets them make their pace to the ball.
6 goals so far this season to Ben Brown, 1 so far today from 50 metres. He lets fly, and there's another one to the Kangaroos. Couple of handy goals inside the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, no, you did right, Sandy. And some crucial kicks here from North Melbourne. Really, the accuracy has kept them in the game on the scoreboard. They certainly kept them in front of the scoreboard. The last 5 to 10 minutes, they all started with Jack Siebel, but you're right about this.
Poor Ed Langdon here ran into a hole.
That's another turnover, though. Another turnover that results in North Melbourne goal. They had the break through the middle of the ground. They had numbers lining up. Really good touch. And David King just spoke about Brent Harvey's impact, the way he delivers to the ball. Now, have a look at that. Look at the score involvements. 19 chains, 9 score involvements. 48% of his touches result in a score. Amazing numbers, number 1 in the competition.
North Melbourne averaging 120 points per game this season. They've got 66 on the board now in the shadows of half-time. Fremantle are going to have to kick a big score to beat them. Ball up. Goldstein. Hill the clearance. Weller, Atley sits on its end. Weller goes back. I read that beautifully. Handball out to Griffin. Seconds tick down. Turnover though again. Goldstein. Wells just over Brown. Dawson gets back. Can't run through the mark. So there's a couple of seconds gone. We're down to 27. Well, according to umpire Schmidt.
Schmidt said it, but I always thought you could.
Weller takes off. Maybe not time enough now. Touch play on. Good tackle laid, wing, splendid tackle by Crozier. Almost ensures this will be the half-time score, but 9 seconds left.
Spoke with Hayden Crozier's dad, David, born in Sri Lanka. The family moved there 100 years ago from Northern Ireland.
Crazy kick forward, dying seconds. And the fort has been held by Fremantle late. But again, we've got to showcase the final game of round 4, and it's